everyone, I'm Laura and welcome to part 2 of my beginner series, makeup products. Now I'll go in order by how we use them. So I'll start off with primers. The reason we apply primer on our skin before we apply foundation is so the foundation stays on your skin for a lot longer or all day. Now with priming the skin, it's not always necessary, especially when you're a beginner and you're just starting out and maybe you're just playing with a few products to see how you like things and see if you do want to get into makeup a bit more. But if you were interested in trying out a primer, I'd recommend going to the drugstore or the chemist and just maybe trying to swatch a few on the back of your hand and see what you like. It's a good idea to try and identify what type of skin you have. So if you're more on the oily side, you might want to go for a more mattifying primer. And yeah, vice versa. If you're a little bit more dry, like myself, you might like to go for something that's a little bit more moisturizing and luminous. I'll show you a couple of examples of primers that I like to use and we'll go from there. Now, the first one I want to show you is this one here. It's by Loreal, if it will focus, and it's called the Magique primer. And it's just sort of, I'll just swatch a little bit. Oh, it's a little bit runny. You might just want to give it a bit of a shake before you use it, but I'll just rub it in a bit. As you can see, just on the back of my hand there, it's quite shiny and luminous, so that might be a good one if you have more dry skin. I would suggest not putting it right up underneath your eye area. I'm someone who has quite sensitive under eyes, so I often find that these types of luminizing primers can feel a little bit like sunscreen and can feel a little bit irritating under that area. So maybe use a different primer under the eye area, which I actually do, or just your moisturizer should be fine. Another one, this might be a little bit shocking as it is a men's product, but it is the Nivea Men's Sensitive Post-Shave Balm. And this was made famous by Nikki Tutorials here on YouTube, and she's right, it's actually a really good primer and it is very affordable. A lot of the time men's products and clothes and things like that are a lot cheaper than women's, so good find. And it's actually got quite a bit in it. I can't actually see, it's 100 ml, which is huge. And I think this was only about, I want to say $5 to $10 in Australia. Now this product, it does have glycerin in it, so that's why it acts as a really good primer, because your foundation will stick to that and really last all day. It does smell a little bit like that man smell, but it does go away once you pop all your other products on top. Okay, so next we'll go on to foundation, and I want to show you one of my favorite foundations. This is again by L'Oreal and it's called the Magique foundation. It'll just focus there. It's just a really luminizing, moisturizing type foundation, I find anyway. Yeah, having dry skin, I just love this foundation. It just sits really well on the skin. It lasts really well. It's really easy to blend, and yeah, I just really like it. So I would recommend giving that one a go if you're on the drier side. If you're a bit more on the oily side, another one by L'Oreal is the Infallible 24-hour matte. I think in other countries it might be called the Infallible Pro Matte. I have actually tried this one. I've moisturized thoroughly and put a really moisturizing primer on my skin before using it, and it is very, very full coverage and very matte. So again, if you have oily skin, this one would be fantastic for you to give a go. There are lots of foundations at the drugstore, at the chemist, Target, Kmart, the supermarket. They're everywhere. So places like Priceline or the drugstore, usually you can swatch them on the back of your hand and see what ones you like and what type of consistency you like as well. Some can be a little bit thicker, some can be a bit runnier. This one here by Bourjois, it's called the Healthy Mix Serum Gel, if that will focus. That one smells awesome. It's another good one for dry skin. Sorry, a lot of mine will be for dry skin because I have dry skin. It is like a serum. It's so moisturizing and it is quite liquidy. The other thing with choosing a foundation is you want to try and get the right color for your type of skin's undertone. So some people have more of a pinkish or a beigeish undertone, and some people have a bit more of a yellowy or golden undertone. And the way you can tell that is if you're, you know, outside in the direct sun or you're inside just near a window, have a look at your skin and just see, you can usually tell if you're more of a yellowy golden color or if you've got more pinkish tones in your skin. I'm a bit more on the pink to neutral side. So neutral means you're sort of either, you're sort of on the fence, I guess. Maybe a bit of both. I think I'm a little bit of both because the foundation I'm actually wearing today, when I put it on, it looks a bit more yellowish, but once I sort of blend everything in and blend it in with my other products, it seems to just mesh well with my undertones. And there's lots of websites and blogs and things like that that will help you in picking your color. If you're a bit unsure about how to tell whether you're more on the yellowish side or more on the pinky beige side, I would suggest going into, say, a MAC store or a MAC counter. The makeup artists there, they're professionals and they're trained in being able to match people to a foundation color. What they'll do is they'll try one on, they'll look at you and see what color you are, and they will try it on your whole face. Now, don't feel like you have to then buy that foundation. You don't have to. Go away, do the rest of your shopping, go outside, take some photos, even some selfies, and see how you like the look of that foundation and if you think that color is a good match for you, and go from there. They're professionals, so they know what they're on about. Next, I'll talk about concealer. I like to conceal under my eyes because I do get dark circles, and one that I like to use is, and please excuse the packaging, it is very well loved and used a lot. It's the, what is it? It's the Maybelline Age Rewind, and you've probably seen it a lot here on YouTube because it's become quite popular, I think. Mine's just in the shade Light Pale, and yeah, I just use it under my eyes. It's more of a liquidy consistency, I would say. It's got this little sponge on the end, which makes it really easy to apply, and I just use my fingers to dab it out. It just has really good coverage. It's almost like a high-end concealer product. It's great. Check that one out if you're interested in a concealer. And another one that I would suggest that is a good one is by Maybelline again. It's the Fit Me creamy sort of concealer. It just looks like that. And this one's in the shade probably light as well. Yeah, light. And yeah, just under my eyes. And also if I wear a full face of foundation, I like to just even out my face by placing some just like on my forehead and nose and chin. It just helps to sort of brighten up those areas. This is so good. It's got the little applicator like that. So it's really easy to dot onto your face. It's very good quality, like it's almost like a high-end sort of concealer. And when choosing a concealer, you usually go about a shade lighter than your foundation color because you usually want to have those areas a bit brighter than the rest of your face. And if you are wanting to choose a concealer to cover up some blemishes that your foundation may not have covered, such as, you know, acne scarring or some redness or a pimple or something, probably go for a concealer that is more the same color as your foundation, so it just blends in nicely. You don't want to use a light colored concealer to cover up blemishes because it's going to look lighter, it's going to make those blemishes and pimples and things just stand out. Next, we'll move on to setting powders, because after we've done our foundation and concealer, we want to set it all in place so it looks a bit more matte and just so it lasts all day. And a good one that I like to use is just a translucent loose powder. It's by Face of Australia and just looks like that. Now these are very messy, so be careful when you're using them that you don't get them everywhere. They are great for setting your concealer especially. and your whole face, your foundation. Great powder, that one. Another one I wanted to show you was by Australis, and this is their little contour kit. It's so good and handy. The powders are very, very creamy and very pigmented. So to set your face and under eyes, you would use these top lighter shades. There isn't a shimmer one, so you could use any one of those to set under your eye area or for your whole face. The bronzers as well are really, really pigmented. So when you're going into the bronzer, you will literally just have to go dab and that's it. Tap off the excess and go in with it because it's that pigmented. Such good quality and so affordable as well. So that is a great one because you've got all of your setting powders, bronzers, great for travel. Yeah, give that one a go. Next I wanted to talk about bronzers. I mentioned that Australis palette. That's a really good one for bronzing. It's got some more contoury shades, which you want a more of a cooler tone, sort of bronzy color that looks more like a shadow. So it doesn't look, you know, you don't want to use a really orangey bronzer or a shimmery bronzer to contour, or I don't really like shimmery bronzers anyway because I just feel like I'll just look like a big sparkle ball. I like to add shimmer. I like to add shimmer with my highlight later after I've bronzed. The Australis palette is a good one, and another bronzer from the drugstore, or just a good affordable one, is by Rimmel, and it's just called Natural Bronzer. And it's just a bit more of a sheer bronzer, so if you're not too sure about it, you don't want to go in with too much, that's a really good one because you can sort of go in with your brush. I'd still always tap off the excess and go in, but you can sort of, it's very buildable, that's what I'm trying to say. So that's a good one to start off with if you weren't sure what to use. Next I'll talk about blush, and maybe if you're starting out, maybe go for more of a sheer blush because sometimes you can go with a blush and they're very pigmented. You go with a big splodge and you've got big bright pink cheeks. So this one here by Maybelline, it's just one of the Fit Me blushes. It's really quite sheer and it's a really pretty color, just a light pinky color, and it's got a bit of a shimmer to it. So I don't have it on today, but in another video I've done, I wear this one, and you wouldn't even really need a highlight after it. It's got highlighter in it as well. So that's a really good one if you're just starting out. Some other blushes I wanted to talk about aren't necessarily from the drugstore, but they are very affordable. They are drugstore prices. They are by Magique, and if you're not really familiar with the makeup world, you will be soon with Magique. They are amazing. I just friggin' love Magique, just amazing. Their eyeshadows, oh, are my fave. So I'll just show you a couple of the blushes that I like to use. I think they're only about $6 American, which is pretty good. They just look like this. They come in little pans. I think you can get them in little containers, but I like the pans because I just pop them in my own palettes. They just look like that. This one has got a bit of a shimmer in it, and this one's called Romance. And the other one that I like is called Spellbound, and it's just more of a light sort of pinky colour. They're really good. They're not too pigmented, but they're just pigmented enough that, yeah, you just go in a couple of dabs, tap off the excess, and beautiful. I'm actually wearing those two mixed together today. So they are another fantastic blush if you're looking at trying something a little bit different. Next, I wanted to talk about highlighters. Highlight would probably be my most favorite product, that and eyeshadows, but we'll get into that. Highlight is what I mentioned before. You just want to highlight, say, the tops of your cheekbones, maybe a little bit on your forehead or Cupid's bow. So with highlighting, you want to highlight areas that you want to bring forward and make pop a bit more. Also, you can highlight the inner corner of your eye just to open up the eyes and make them appear a little bit wider and more awake. And yeah, I just love highlight, and they can be very versatile as well. You can use them as eyeshadows, highlight, just whatever you like, really. So this one is by GEEK. It's more of an Australian brand, I believe, but you can get that one in Target, I'm pretty sure. And Maya have it too. They do have their own website too, so you could just order off the website. So this is one of the highlighters that I have. It's more of a bronzy one, but I've just been using this top bit here because it's the lightest shade. Thanks, motorbike. Yep. Don't mind that motorbike outside if you can hear that. Sorry. I just grab a little brush and just dab it in the top bit like that, tap off the excess, and just add it to the tops of my cheekbones. Mainly, that's where I mainly add my highlight, and just add such a gorgeous glow. Just makes you look so dewy and luminous. You don't have to wear highlight if you just think, oh, it's just another step, I don't need to worry about it, but you will learn to love it, believe me. All of these other shades in there, you could use those as eyeshadows, so it's very versatile. Hi everyone, I have split part 2 of this series into 2 videos, otherwise this video would have been a little too long. The second part to this video is up now and it's called Part 2 Continued Eye and Lip Products. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel and go and have a look at the second part to this video. Bye!